Hello, everyone. I am responding to Module 8, which is healthcare. For Prompt 1, I think when people have more knowledge around medical issues, they end up being more lucky in a sense. I think the more someone knows about a specific issue that either their children or themselves are having, it is beneficial when discussing treatment and other ways to improve it. Some individuals and families are more privileged than others. I think that not just the knowledge side of it, but also expenses and family structure side, all in the end have major impacts on these types of situations. The writer mentions several families that are all different in their own ways. Some of the families are more financially stable and have more freedom in a sense when it comes to treatment and access to specific care than others. The writer also mentions that when parents and families are more knowledgeable when it comes to care, even mentions how some call it cultural health capital, they are at greater advantage and sometimes even taken more seriously. The writer then follows these points by then discussing parents and even grandparents who are not as knowledgeable and how things went differently for them. From a personal perspective, a great deal of my family have experienced different health problems and also have had to navigate them in different ways. My grandmother on my mother's side was a nurse, and I often noticed how her knowledge helped the rest of the family out whenever something happened. She was able to notice certain things that everyone else was not able to and guided everyone in the appropriate way. I believe that without the knowledge she provided on many occasions, a lot of my family members would have had different outcomes. Now for prompt 2, I think all the solutions given all lead back to the idea of having a progressive approach and plan in place. I think it'd be beneficial to include all different types of individuals in this change to get different viewpoints and ideas. I think if we take data from direct patients and then use that data, there could and very well would be a large chance of improvement. Vincent brings up several good points and solutions, which again I believe are greatly beneficial if they were to be put in place. Vincent mentions collaborative learning health systems several times, followed by mentioning real utopias. This would mean that all of the actionable research they find would immediately be given and fed back to patients to again improve outcomes. This alone would be very beneficial because it also states okay. This alone would be very beneficial because it also states that most of the time it can take up to 17 years for findings to be implemented or fed back into helping improve issues and helping patients. I personally witnessed the COVID-19 pandemic ultimately putting a strain on our system as a whole. I do not think in some cases that our system was fully prepared for something like that. Through research and knowledge, I know that there was a resource strain because so much was happening at once and the large amounts of equipment needed was not available. My entire family at one point had gotten COVID, and I know even for my small family, the sickness was overwhelming. My family, at least, was not prepared for it and did not really know what to do when we had it. I mainly just think COVID-19 was rough for not only the people who had it, but also the overall system, and especially in healthcare. I do, however, think obviously it was, such a huge issue on such a large scale, but I do think a positive side of it was that, we've been through it and maybe we can prepare better. That's a change that I think I'd want to see, not just for that, not just like for COVID-19 alone, but overall, I feel like if, things happen, we can use them, work through them, and then use that knowledge for future issues. So, yeah, thank you.